Hello, my name is Amber Thompson. I'm the founder of DBias. Now I'm sharing some headlines regarding more recently an issue with Ryan Coogler going to the bank and trying to take money out and being arrested. Black homeowners still facing racism when they're buying a home. And while we've been sharing these experiences, a lot of what we're saying has not been recorded as a fact. And this last headline, where even in the article, it's stating that the law student claims that a sheriff mistook her for a defendant. These experiences that marginalized people face have not been shared empirically, and that's what we're here to talk about today. And I want to start this off with a quote from James Baldwin, where he says, "I can't believe what you say because I see what you do." Now, what if we had a tool that predicted the type of discrimination that would record our individual experience and report it as a fact and show how it happened and support you envisioning something different or build a collective movement? Well, here at DBias, we're taking a technical approach to lower the barrier of entry to solving bias and discrimination. Our transparency allows us to connect experiences we're having to the policies and procedures and practices by drastically decreasing the amount of data manipulation. Our patent pending software generates an intersectional equity rating, predicting the likelihood of bias to mitigate future decisions and deter regressive actions. Essentially, we're collecting all of the attributes that lead to bias. We have 6 companies touching 30,000 people currently across the state of PA, and a recurring revenue using our patent pending process, and in talks with membership organizations at a national and international level. We have case studies ranging from assessing Black women's entrepreneurial journey, designing infrastructure and community data hubs, and implementing an equity rubric to hold developers accountable in racial equity goals. And our competitors are also part of the problem. Employers are not only to blame. Based on the report from Mercer, there are over 105 D&I products, diversity inclusion products on the market that do not solve diversity inclusion issues. So we're bridging community economic development membership organizations directly to the communities by acquiring reviews in their communities, publicly sharing and acquiring customers based on who's reviewed. And this takes a rare combination of skills. As the founder, I've designed equitable systems for over 10 years, and my team is technical in approaching in tech and equity. So if you're along your DEI journey and asking, what do I do next? Please contact us at contact@dbias.io. Thank you.
Amber, thank you so much for sharing DBias with us. Now we're going to refer to the champions.
I'm going to defer to the lawyer.
Okay, I know. We're going to start with the lawyer.
I did have some questions. Amber, I wanted to ask, you mentioned you have 6 customers right now. What type of companies are they, and are you under contract with them? Are they long-term contracts? Could you tell us a little bit more about that?
All of our contracts have to be at least a year, since we are collecting a lot of data and building basically from the ground up. This doesn't exist. The data doesn't exist. So all of our contracts are in community development. Again, we're trying to touch as many people and holistically look at a company, not just internally in their workplace, but look at their partners, their vendors, supplier diversity, their community engagement, outreach, advocacy, and lobbying. And so we started with community development organizations, working with CDCs, and local organizations, and building out to the membership organizations so we can work not only with the communities, but the municipalities and the elected officials as well.
Now, the supply diversity part of that is very interesting and exciting, because there is so much imbalance in that area when it comes to minority contracting. Talk to me more about that, Amber, and what you see happening in that space in particular.
So right now we have a contract in a local community where we're helping to support a data hub, and they're building it. The first time a community is developing a cooperative grocery store, first time in developing rights in the city, but they're building a cooperative grocery store in a retail space. So on this project, they're using DBias to ensure that minority contractors, and also local hiring. So we're keeping the dollars in that community. We're also bringing pay and gender parity to those contracts. So now the contractors have a place to actually submit and share that they were part of this contract. We have that contract coming in to say, here's the people you said you would hire. Here's what you said you would hire them for. And now we can verify that they were hired, they were on contract, they were paid properly. And also make sure that these are people that we're maintaining for monitoring of that project or future contract development projects in that region.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I have a question for you. Can you explain what stage that you're at with your patent pending?
Very early. I filed it in November. It took probably, I'd say, about 1.5 years to validate. And filed in November. So it's a provisional. We have a year. And I just filed the power of attorney document. So I'm trying to stay, it's still proprietary, but I'm just trying not to divulge too much.
Okay, thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Amber. I think DeBias is really, really disruptive. So thank you for sharing our business with us. And we're going to talk to the champions for a little bit, but thank you for pitching your business.
To vote, visit Razorfy.co and select today's event. Enter your donation for the pitches you loved and click the donate button to proceed to checkout. Review and confirm your donation once more by tapping donate. And finally, key in your payment info to cast your vote. Voting will be open for 7 days. And remember, there's a $5 minimum for your vote to count. Your donation keeps a Black or brown women in business. You are changing the world with Black Girl Ventures.